Good morning, beloved ones. This morning I felt to do a video. I haven't done one for a little while. I've been processing, I would say, is a word that can be used, which basically means re-examining or re-looking, re-feeling, going back into some areas of my life or some situations, and allowing myself to be with those situations. Sometimes they're not always comfortable. Sometimes there's an old wound coming up. Sometimes there's something that needs to be looked into. And this is what I call just the processing of life. Existence gives us many opportunities many gifts to re-look at certain things, and with the awareness and the maturity and the tools that we have to be able to sit with them and maybe be in them, and allow ourselves to look deeper within ourselves. Ultimately, what I have been seeing is that the majority of us have this space that we will put, and this protection that we will put, and the reactions and things that we do to either protect ourselves, or because we feel we need to protect ourselves, or whatever. And what I'm learning from myself over many years is, once something that is uncomfortable comes towards me, something that is painful for me or hurts me, or sometimes even makes me joyful, and sometimes really overwhelmed with gratitude, I try and just allow myself to make some space in my life, not to mind fuck about it, not to have it running around, but just to really look and see what is the gift in this. Why is existence giving this for me? Because I've found that everything is a gift, especially the hard stuff is really always a gift, if one can have the courage just to look and see if one is doing something that is outdated, that is no longer necessary. All the things we do in our life have been there for a reason. And as I've said before, it's sometimes like saying goodbye to an old friend, to say goodbye to an old way of being and an old habit that may no longer suit you, or no longer suit your life situation and where you are, and it is not supporting and nurturing you anymore. So sometimes you have to be in it, and then you go and beat yourself up and go, oh, I'm a terrible person, I shouldn't have done that. And then instead of doing that, you have to just maybe just go away and allow yourself. And this process might take you a few days, but might take you a week, might take you a month. But if you can catch this most beautiful gift, it will be more valuable than any group that you have done. It'll be more valuable than anything you've done. Because this is the maturity that comes once one understands, maybe to do some meditations and to have some tools that one can use from groups maybe you've done, and deeper understandings you've come with yourself. Ultimately, the next step is one has to start putting this into practice in the life. The meditation techniques, the opening up, the understanding of oneself, ultimately these are just tools to help you to see and to be moving in a slightly different way than maybe you have been conditioned or taught. But eventually it has to become the walking of it. So sometimes, as I say, don't always, when one becomes to a certain maturity, one just slows down and allows it to, as I say, to sit with your devil. Sit with the devil. And you don't push it away and you don't invite it in, but you allow it to be there. You allow if there is hurt, you allow if there is shame, you allow if there is happiness. You might also not think that you deserve to be happy. So there can be many different ways. And start to see, as say, what expands you, what helps you to breathe more easily, what helps you to have more space. Once you start to see this, you will see what is nurturing you in this moment. And then what happens is, as one processes and just watches this and sits with it, not chewing on it, not letting it run around like a monkey in the mind, but just letting yourself be deeply with it, you will find, firstly, you'll suddenly go, oh my God, I'm here again. I'm doing this same pattern. I'm in this same situation. How did I get here? So if it's a repeated thing and it's come at you sort of from a totally different angle, but it's there again, then it is there from existence for you to look at it and see, what is it touching in me? What needs to shift? Not a doing, but in the understanding of it, you will find you will no longer be able to maybe play an old game. So, that's that. That's what I've been saying. I don't know if that makes any sense to you this morning, but it's just me sharing me. There are some things like the expanding and the contracting, which I explained in another video. But there's other small things you can do which will naturally help you. One is to take care of the environment and the space in which you live. Now, it may not be the whole house. It may just be maybe your bedroom or the space which is your own personal space. If you're living with somebody else and you have space in the house, my suggestion is that you have your own separate rooms. Even if you are lovers and even if you're married or whatever, if you have the luxury to have 2 bedrooms or 2 spaces that could be, it is very nice for you to each take a space and use that space as your sacred space. The other can come in, the other can be with you, you can sleep with the other all the time if you want, it can, but in a way the other needs to be invited. You can say, oh, I need to sleep alone tonight, or I need to just be with myself tonight, without the other feeling insulted, or I'd love you to come and spend the night with me. Or I'd love you to come and cuddle with me, and then maybe you go back and sleep in your own space. Because there is something very beautiful about being and sleeping sometimes in your own space where you are not always in the energy of another person. Or an energy of another person. Or an energy of another space. If it is created your space, then it is a space of how you want it to be created. Now, this outer space that we live in reflects this inner space that we have. So if you can imagine, if this outer space is all crazy and you've got clothes and you just run in and rush out and you have no caring for it, you take no care of it, it's just a place where you sleep and that's it. Energetically, that is what you're also feeling about yourself and your inner and whatever. So what I would suggest that you try and you see if it makes any difference in your life. You'll have to give it maybe a few weeks to get into a bit of a pattern with it. But before you leave your space, you don't have to clean it, mop it and everything. But maybe you do that once. What you do is you tidy your space. Maybe you make your bed. Maybe you just put things tidily together. You fold your clothes and just put them up. It doesn't have to be really I would suggest that you actually, first of all, when you're going to do this, you basically give yourself your room a clean. You give it a vacuum if it's got carpet, or you clean the floor and you sweep it and you dust and you give it a really nice clean. You look around and you see what you have out. You see what you want out. You see, do I need this picture? Do I need this crystal? Do I want this around anymore? And what supports you? What you like to have around, and see where you want to put it. So you create your space. You spend maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours, and you create your space how you like it, how it makes you feel. And then you go out to work or go and do what you have to do in your day. And then when you come back in, notice how you feel. Notice how walking into that space, how it makes you feel. And I think you will find that it will, it's like even if you have a whole flat, maybe you, instead of leaving the dishes unwashed in the sink and stuff, you actually make a little bit of effort. I started a long time ago, at night. I had a business, I was very busy, but at night I would have my food and stuff, and then afterwards I would make sure that I washed the dishes, and then I left them in the draining board. I didn't put them away, but I made the space tidy, even in my kitchen, so that when I walked in, because in the morning I knew I was going to get up and go to work, so it was very good in that way. And I found that when I came in from work, it felt very beautiful to come into an environment that was already sort of like calm and tidy. It doesn't have to be super clean all the time, of course that's beautiful, because the outer space that we live in will create the inner space. Also look and see around your door, your front door, or your entrance into your room. What is around that? Is there a whole load of rubbish around it? Because if so, you are inviting all this junk and rubbish and stuff that you don't really need into it. It doesn't mean that sometimes there has to be stuff there, but if you can maybe just make sure that it's put in a tidy way, and a pleasant way, then you can be friends with all this stuff also. It's a strange thing. Just to take a little time. You know, even to make a cup of tea, instead of rushing, maybe get up 5 minutes earlier and just have your breakfast in a way where you are respecting the breakfast. You are respecting the cup. You are saying hello. You are sitting down and drinking your cup of tea or coffee in a feeling way. I know, you know, many of us in this world, we say that we're too busy, I don't have time, hurry, hurry, hurry. But with this, we are missing our life. And I can guarantee you that if you actually slow down and take a little bit more space to feel, you will get actually to work on time. Or you get where you need to do. You will get the things done you need to do. You will find there's certain things that you realize you don't need to do, so that you have the space. And you will find the quality of your life. The walking of your life is beautiful. We get in such a rush that we are running from being born, the cradle. We are running to the grave. And we are forgetting just to stop and enjoy the moment, to listen to a bird, to see a flower. And we're rushing so fast, we run past these, and then what is life? It's just rushing to make money, to pay the bills, to do this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's not that you have to be rich, it's not that you have to entertain yourself with expensive things, but if you even take a small walk in the morning, you make your cup of tea and you walk out in the garden and you just say hello maybe to your trees, or even if you only have a plant by your front door or something, you just say hello. And then you'll find that sometimes maybe a little bird will come, which never has been there, or you've never noticed it, and it comes specifically to see you. You are not giving it anything, you're not doing anything, you are just there with your energy, and you might find it starts just dropping in to see you. So So my beloved ones, my challenge to you is don't let life just run past you. You don't have to control it all. But in the slowing down and the making space, you will start to be aware of what is really truly nurturing you and what is not. And until you do this, you will need to have everything in boxes. You will have to have everything controlled. This is good, and this is bad, and this is what I do. And you will have to have it like a policeman. You will have to be totally organized. My understanding is, as you slow down, as you come more in touch and just make simple changes to your life, maybe it's just a simple changes of just being aware. And you put the practice of the meditations into the life, into the walking of it. In the most simple of ways, you will see the quality of your life will change because you will start to be aware. You will start to be listening more to yourself. You will suddenly have this inner little voice will suddenly go, oh, go there today. You know, your mind will go, oh, I can't go there, blah, blah, blah. And you might do something just a little differently. And then you will find that life becomes very spontaneous. You will find that it may fall into a natural structure of patterns because there are things still that need to be done. But you will find that instead of it having to be a controlled doing, it becomes a natural flowing. And sometimes, even though you may have a pattern, sometimes you get that little feeling and you do it a different way. Not because it's better, but because that's what your inner is telling you to do. There is not really an inner and outer, but there is when we are still inner and outer. Eventually, there isn't just a mask. There isn't an inner and outer. You are just who you are. But to get to that point where you are ready to just be who you are, maybe we have to just clean ourselves up a little bit and get a bit more clear. So, slow down a little bit. Look at the spaces around you today. We are going into, in the Osho Tibetan calendar, we're going into the kidneys, Chichai, which is always about intolerance of the feminine. So basically I'm talking about very nurturing, homey things. So that's... you may think, what is this woman talking about? She's an absolute nutcase. I don't have time for that. But I can guarantee you that if you make some space and you create your space in a very simple and beautiful way, it doesn't have to take you a lot of time, you will see it changes the quality of your life. So that is my challenge to you today. Have a go with it. If you feel to leave me a message and let me know how it's going, give it a few days at least. But I would love your feedback. I don't know if these videos or do anything for you. It's not why I do it. I do it. Maybe just talk to myself and remind myself. Because obviously I'm talking to myself. So my beloveds, I wish you a beautiful morning. I was out with the birds. This is my garden, and the river is out there in Pune. It's not too clean yet, but they're apparently going to clean her up. And this is what I wake up to in the morning. I share my house with other people, so I have a beautiful house, but luckily because we have a few of us, we share the costs, so that makes it much easier. So there's many different ways you can do it. I have some little beautiful fan-tailed birds that come at this time of year, and they come and they like to come here, and they like to come right next to the door, and they put their tail up, and they try to come in the window sometimes, but of course it's a mosquito net, so luckily they can't come in. But they come and they visit me. We have the cuckoos at the moment in India because we're in hot season. It gets very hot at the moment. And they are also around. In the morning we have a chorus of the birds. It's very nice. Simple things. There are always simple things. Don't miss the simple things. At some stage in our life maybe they won't be there. And in this moment I enjoy this. I don't know if you can hear the birds. Maybe you can hear them if I take this off. You can hear the water at the bottom of the garden. It's actually just an outlet pipe, but it has a beautiful sound. I have two beautiful champa trees, which are these white flowers with the yellow inside that smell. And at the moment they're also in full blossom, and they fall into the garden. And I just put a bowl with water, and I float them in the water. So when you walk in the garden, sometimes you can see something that existence has given you totally free, that the plant has let go of, and you can enjoy that also in its simplicity. So it doesn't have to cost you anything for this, but sometimes you find a small feather. This is from my fantail. I was walking in the garden and I found these two little feathers. These are from the fantail bird. So it was their gift to me. But they left it for me. But of course, unless you have the eyes, you would just walk past it. So my beloveds, don't miss the beauty of these moments. We are very blessed on this planet. We have trees, we have birds, we have small insects. I hope they will continue to stay with us. I feel very blessed to be the age I am and to have had the experiences of this nature and this planet as it has been. And I hope it stays this way for the young people. And for any young people, this is your planet. You have got the life. You are maybe going to have children or not, I don't know. But so it's yours. Maybe we mucked it up in some way, and now there's a new challenge to keep it beautiful, to keep the birds, to keep things so your children or grandchildren, or even not yours but other people's, will enjoy this. We human beings do such stupid things. We think that it is ours, and we are not. We are the caretakers of it. And we are the ones that muck it up the most. So I really appreciate these small things that are in my life. Don't miss them. Who knows if they'll be? Who knows if there'll be another day? Who knows if I'll be living in this space? Who knows if I will have this view for another day? So I enjoy it and don't take it for granted. I can hear the cats from the lady next door. Also, must be wanting breakfast or something, or maybe they want a little bit of attention. Anyway, they talk to us all the time. The birds talk to us all the time. It's not even that you're giving them food or anything, but when your energy is there, they see your energy. Even if you're upset, sometimes they will come and they will just maybe be around you just to say, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? They really tune into energy. They're very sensitive beings. I remember once I'd just been in a group and I got so upset in the group and I'd run out of the group in tears and I'd gone and sat somewhere in the garden, and suddenly I'm sitting there and there is suddenly a crowd of maybe 15 small birds, and suddenly they're flying all around me and it's like they're going, what's on, what's on, what's on? And in the next moment I just burst out laughing because this is so peculiar that these birds are all flying around me and they're all letting me know that they are there and they are concerned in their own way. They're attracted to the energy or whatever, I don't know. But in that moment, from the tears and the sadness, they just became this laugh. And I just laughed and felt very grateful. So if you have the eyes to see, there will be things around that are supporting you. So see them, be aware. Anyway, my lovers, enough of the birds, enough of me for this morning. This will take quite a while for me to download, so I wish you the best. And I love you heaps, and have a very beautiful day. Remember you're loved. Remember there's always something special there if you see it. And look at the space where you live, even if it's your bedroom, make your bed, just tidy it up, leave it tidy. And practice, try it for a week or something and see how you feel. Give me some feedback. I'd love to know how you find it. Simple things, simple, simple.